So this is what we're going to be creating at the end of the video. So I'm just going to be taking you through the process of how I actually made this. So we're going to try and recreate this again in Photoshop, and so the assets that I'm using for this project, you can find them on the internet. So it's just lens flare, African background, some lightning. I didn't use this in this project, I used in a different one, but and some pictures of Minister Dunsin Oyekan, the eagle and all of those things. So for this project we'll be using one asset, this, and just four to come up with this, and the rest is actually effects and just some other interesting things. So let's go into it. So the first thing we actually want to do is that we want to create a new project. So we go to new, and we just go with a 1080 by 1920. So that's a portrait mode, and we just name our file post. Okay, so I just like keeping the resolution at 300. So we create, and there you go, we have our plain background. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is that I'll bring in the subject that we want to do. So you can just drag that into Photoshop. So this is our subject that we're actually going to edit. So you can position him wherever you want to position him. So what you want to do is that you just come up to select subject. So what that does is that it takes time, and then select the subject, so you don't have to manually do it. So once you've done that, you want to come, you see the layer, I've clicked on the layer, you want to click on Ctrl J. So press Ctrl J. So what that does is creates a layer out of the selection that you made, so you can hide this layer, and then you have your subject. So it removes the background for you, and then you can resize. You can resize it to wherever you want it to be. Okay. So we have that here. So what we want to do next is that we want to bring in the background just to make things better. So we bring in the background, the African background, just drag that, bring it here, extend that a bit. So we have that there. Okay, click OK. We put that behind the layer. So this is how it looks right now. So usually what I like doing is that it's a good practice to name your layer, just to rename your layers, because it gets to a point like where you start having so much layers to work with, and then if they are not named, you're gonna have a lot of issues. So you just double click on the layer, and then so just put Mr. Dunsin. So this is just a background. Okay, so we have this here as a reference, but we have that and that. So I want to just do a bit of retouching to the image. So we're going to click on the image, actually click on the Minister Dunsin. You come to filter, and then click on camera raw filter. There are shortcuts, but I'll just go step by step. So it's Shift Control A, but we just click on camera raw filter. So you give that a bit of time to load, and so what we're gonna do next is that so we have, this is our image now. I just want to sharpen it and make it look, to give it that mysterious nice look. So we want to come to the basic, just increase the contrast a bit, and then usually the texture gives it that grainy look and the clarity. So you have that. So if you reduce the highlight, you look at the white, it brings out the shapes in the white cloth. And so the shadow, you just want to bring that down, whites and the black. So it makes total, so if I hide this, you can see this is the initial, and then this how it looks. So it just gives you a different look entirely. You can come to details and just sharpen it a bit. Okay, so just from this, it already looks much more better than the original. So we have this. Okay, so now it's looking much more nice. We're getting to it now. So the next thing that we want to do is that you can see the background is fighting for attention with the subject, so you need to blur out the background or find a way of making Min Dunsin Oyekan the subject of the main subject. So when people look, the first thing they see is actually him, not the background. So the background is complementing, not shouldn't be distracting. So we click on him, go to, or click on the background, full stop. That is if you come to stylize oil paint, we can make this look a bit interesting. That you can change your settings, and then it gives this kind of interesting look to your to the design. So it makes it look much more nicer and cooler by adding oil paint filter to it. You can click on OK, so it makes a difference. So you see that, and then here I just like it. So we can go back to filter again, go to blur, Gaussian blur, and just blur that out a bit. I think 10 is fine. So let's click on filter, stylize oil paint. Okay, just bring that below the Gaussian. So we have that. So the next thing we want to do is that I want to bring in a lens flare just to make things actually interesting. So we click on the lens flare. Let's say this one. We drag that there. Okay, and so we just increase that a bit. So when we do that, if you click on normal, if you try the different modes, let's click OK first. We click on normal, then we try the different modes. So you see it, we look for the one that actually looks nicer depending on what you actually want to do. And so I kind of love the overlay, and I love that the star comes on like Mr. Dunsin's face. It just gives an illustration that okay, so you can click on control and then one of the anchor points, so you just drag that up there. I love how it gives emphasis to his face, and then it just changes the color grading totally. So this looks pretty nice that we can use that. So the next thing that we may want to do is that let's click on, I want him to take more space, so maybe somewhere here, something like this. Okay, just give room a bit. So we have that. Click on the floor, just put that there. So the next thing that we actually want to do is that let's just bring in some text. So we work with a bit of text, and go to our text, and then we just start typing in. So let's type. The size is too bigger. So Oyekan. Okay, so I love this font type 40. So we just bring that there. Okay. You can use your ruler and your guides just to make sure you're not going off the borders. So you want to keep things nice and clear. So if you shouldn't go off this, because if you're printing it, there has to be a bleeding point where it doesn't. You don't give the printing shop issues. So we can just click on this effects at the bottom here, blending option. So the thing that we want to do is that we're going to just give it some bit of stroke just to make it look nice and interesting. But I love also adding some bevel, but we'll do that later on. So let's just add some stroke to this. You can see the stroke is too much, you just take this down. Okay, and a pattern, it's just a simple pattern. So here it has like the grasses, so we're just going to use that for now. So like the pattern of the grasses, just take this up a bit, come to your bevel, and then just increase that your contour and your texting, so it gives this nice look. Come to inner stroke, we don't want inner that, just gonna click that. So most of the time you're testing what actually looks nice for you, and so it's most of the time a test. Does this look good, or if it doesn't, should I use something different? Okay, so just do that, just add a shadow there. So we have that Minister Oyekan. So we can come for the name. Let's say Minister Dunsin. Okay, just resize that and bring that. I want us to use a different font type just to make things interesting, and the font type we use is just, it's called, I think, book. Yeah, book and thick. Yeah, something like this. They're good. So let's click on that. But you see the stroke in this is too much, so we come to the effect and you just reduce the stroke. It's too much. Maybe 1 or 2 or something like that. And the color, let's go with white for now. We'll change the color here to again. So that's a stroke. A color, just go with white, so it stands out a bit. So I think we're gonna have to increase the stroke. So I think it's a good thing to zoom out and then increase your stroke, so you actually see it's like its total effect. But if you're zoomed in, you may not see like, okay, to what degree is this having an effect on my design. But if you zoom out, then it's easier. So we have that there. Maybe 2 is fine, I think. Inner shadow here, just give inner shadow. So we got that. And we can move and just use this for laziness. We just use the same text, and going to create breathe. Okay, so this was one of a very powerful song written by our minister, Breathe, and so we're going to actually use that and then just go with it. But then I want the B to be bigger than the rest, so what we're actually going to do, we just click Alt and click on the bread layer, so you make a duplicate of it. Select it, just delete it off. So we have the B separately, so we are creating 2 layers, but I just want to keep the properties there. Okay, so we have breathe. We have this. Let's select that again. Make it big. I think we need auto selector. So, but I don't want this green stuff, so we're gonna change that. I want something transparent and nice. If we add a color overlay there, this is how it looks like, right? So what we're gonna do is that we come to the fill and then reduce the fill down to 0. If you reduce it down to 0, you up the color. Then you come to remove the pattern, so you have something that looks like it. So, but now we need to adjust the other parts, like to make it more in depth. So we can add an inner shadow. We choose the distance. If you need an inner glow, you don't need a gradient. Outer glow, not necessary. So most of the work will be here, and then we can bring that in. So we want this layer, that's the one that has this, to be on top. Okay, so we just have that kind of nice look. So we have breathe. Where's breathe? So just lock this layer so it doesn't, and then we can use capital letters, REATHE. Just makes things look a bit nicer. So reduce the fill down to 0, so we have this. Okay, let's lock that layer. So we have breathe. Okay, so this is gonna be our let's see, I don't know if you need a drop shadow. Yeah, maybe there. So just to give a final touch, I want Minister Dunsin's cloth and body to blend with the background a bit, just some, you give some touch to it. So if you come to it, you just come to FX, blending option. You have certain adds just a color overlay on top of your image there. So you see, so at times just to make your color look, your image look nicer, and then you can add the certain to it. I'm using yellow because I just want it to blend with the background, the beat. Okay, so you have that. So we have Min Dunsin Oyekan. You can click on this and just increase the stroke a bit of breathe. Let's increase the stroke, so it just pops out small. Come to breathe. Okay, increase that a bit. So there you have it. So we have our design there. So now what we want to do is that just to give some bit of final touch, what I would like to do again is that, you know, I already gave a camera filter to it. I'm just gonna do it again. Okay, so I'll add some sharpening to it. This time I'm trying to go like overboard with it. The textures, So you have that intense feel when you see it. So you see, it makes total difference now. So it gives it that more intense feeling and all of those things like that. Yeah. So we have that. So now, what we're going to do is that, what I like to do is I'll just export this. Let me show you something. Just export as a PNG quickly. So we just export it here, and then let's see. So this is just the first one. We're just going to use that. So once that is exported, we'll go back to our folder and we're going to bring it. We're going to bring it back again. So it's here. I'm going to drag it back into Photoshop. There's a shortcut to do this, but I'm just taking you through the normal way of doing it. So right now we are dealing with a layer. There's a way of merging all this layer together and then having one. So we're dealing with the layer, not, it's like all these elements have been merged into one. So with this now, we're going to take this now into the camera. So you see, we're going to use camera raw filter a lot of times. And then, so now we're going to do the final retouching and any other thing that we want to do to it. So you can decide, okay, I'm going to, now you go how intense you want to. Depends on you now. The details, let's just sharpen this a bit. If you come to the optics, I like to just bend this up a bit. Just gives it more nicer feeling and all of this. Geometry, let's go to geometry and I'll show you something. So if you click on, so observe the image properly. If you add the grains there, so it adds some grains to the, I don't know if you're seeing this grains. Yeah, so it makes it look more nice and gives it a very nice aesthetic feel. So you have your vignetting, like, so if you want to put the focus on, so you want to put the focus there, okay? And then, so if you're okay with it, you can move on. If you have any other thing that you want to add, it's up to you. The highlights, I'm okay, just the light, a bit dark sides, shadow, and then we have that. So we have we just did that right now. So you can have this. If there's any other thing you want to add, you can add it there. But then this is the process on how you actually get going. So it depends on you. So right now you see we have the original file back. If you prefer that, okay, I think I like the original one, then you can still have it here and then just export. But if you think, okay, I'm okay with this one that I just made now, you can still use it. So it depends on you. So you have this. When you're done with your file, just export it as a PNG. So you can name it as, okay, stop naming your file as final, because if you name it as final, there's always another final. That's it. So when that's done, we come here. So that's it. So we have our final design there. So you see, so that's how you do something simple like this. You can take this really far and then make it really nice and pretty cool. There's more we can do, but we just keep it like this. And so if you notice here, I think the min is a Dunsin. Okay, so we have that. So that's how you actually do something like this. And I hope you love this video. Please feel free to like, share the video, subscribe. I'll be making more contents around this area, around design, around sharing the gospel too. So like, share, and then please share it to share it, okay? And then like the video. If you have any comments, just let me know. If there's something you want me to do or you don't understand a point, you can just let me know. So I make contents around graphic design, video editing, animation, but core is sharing the gospel of Christ, and that's the core of it. So we'll see you again later. So I'm your boy Blessing John Aseweje, and then Have a great day. Bye.